Guess who's back? It's Nokia's back. 'Cause Nokia's back? Whatever. It's HMD Global now anyway. They're the executives who bought Nokia back from Microsoft, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Or did they? Nokia's released 3 Android phones so far, the Nokia 3, 5, and 6, all in the low to mid-range field. Now if you've kept track of the contenders in these categories, then you know it's an already packed market filled with high-value competition. Nokia's game plan is to steal our hearts with classy good looks and make us stay for an uncluttered and always up-to-date Android system. Stupid. I mean, it does sound kinda nice though. But you can't have our hearts just yet, Nokia. We've been burnt in the past. Figuratively and literally. We're looking at you, Note 7. So, is the Nokia 6's beauty just skin deep? Or is it the total mid-range package? Let's find out in my review of the Nokia 6.
The Nokia 6 is a sexy phone. While not curved and bezel-less like the reigning champ in sex appeal, the Galaxy S8, the 6 offers a refined and classy appearance with its aluminum body and shiny chamfered edges. Even the volume buttons are metal, with polished aluminum at their sides. The front face is clean and uninterrupted, save for the 8-megapixel selfie cam, fingerprint sensor, and haptic buttons. Turning over the device, you'll see light bouncing off the polished silver edges, and in back, a modest camera bump with the same shiny bezel. Lying within is the 16-megapixel sensor, which is not Carl Zeiss, paired with dual-tone LED flash. We can't help but notice the strong resemblance to Windows phones of the past, as they've successfully modernized and refined this trademark design language for their Android offerings. The 6 looks like a Windows phone that's all grown up, and we quite like that. Coming in a variety of classy colors, the options include a shiny limited edition black, named Art Black, a navy blue labeled Tempered Blue, silver, and a stunning copper edition. Nokia's website makes the claim that the 6 is life-proof, in reference to its sturdy aluminum body and solid build, but we just can't let this claim slide when there exists no level of water or even splash-proofing. The Nokia's 5.5-inch IPS display depicts accurate colors and great detail. A respectable 403 pixels per square inch makes watching HD videos a joy on this 1080p screen, especially with Dolby Atmos certified sound coming from the earpiece and main speaker. It can lean ever so slightly to the colder end of the spectrum, but overall, we had no major complaints. Nokia promises to keep the interface clutter-free and up-to-date, vows on which they've clearly followed through. As far as Android goes, tweaks in the OS are imperceptible if they exist at all. The Amazon version, of course, has pre-installed apps and lock screen ads from the company, but on a regular Nokia 6, the only non-stock artifact is an app named Support. Much like the settings menu on the Google Pixel, Support exists to extend a direct line of communication between Nokia and its customers. Security updates also came through quickly during our time with the device, receiving the latest updates within a day of their release. We suppose the biggest test will come with the release of Android O, however. Navigating the OS, we're thankful for the lack of clutter, but the Snapdragon 430 under the hood isn't the most fleet of processors. Apps open quickly but can take a second or two to load. Once opened though, app switching is mostly swift and effortless, a testament to the 3 gigs of RAM on board. Multi-window app switching will have a persistent stutter though. In general, the phone performs quickly enough that we don't see it being a big problem for most users. Those who crave lightning speed simply needn't look to the mid-range, but we must say, a mid-level processor like the Snapdragon 625 would make an appreciable difference in the Nokia 6. This is especially true in gaming. While virtually no mid-rangers will give you an optimal gaming experience, the 625 could at least help with the Nokia's painfully slow load times and stuttery frame-dropping performance. The fingerprint sensor, which also acts as a capacitive home button, authenticates decently well. It's quick to process, but missed more first-try authentications than we'd like to see. We can't help but feel like this is due largely in part to the size of the sensor, which we wish was a bit taller. These issues seemed less related to software or hardware faults, and more to do with the limited surface area of the sensor. Most annoying, though, was the need to tap the sensor twice to authenticate. Resting your finger on the sensor once wakes up the device, then you must lift your finger and place it back down to authenticate and enter the phone. Thankfully, this appears limited to just the Amazon-sponsored versions. In terms of connectivity, you'll find all the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi standards you'd expect, but the addition of NFC is what we're most grateful for. This enables features like Android Pay, Beam, and quick pairing with enabled devices. This is something we consider a should-be standard, even for mid-rangers. Nokia's Windows phones were well known for their comprehensive, rich camera UIs. Unfortunately, this doesn't carry over to their Android offerings. The app is pretty bare, offering no special shooting modes or image adjustments. Instead, you'll only find toggles for flash and HDR modes, as well as the requisite buttons to switch to the camcorder or front-facing camera. Fortunately, the 6's prowess as a solid point-and-shoot performer helps offset this lack of features. The 16-megapixel rear sensor captures great detail and color reproduction in well-lit scenes, though the camera has a slight tendency to let in movement if you're not cognizant of it, skewing focus a bit on objects that would otherwise be perfectly detailed. As long as you're aware of this, though, you'll be able to take some of the best photos we've seen in this class. Outdoor shots do struggle a bit with dynamic range, though, leading us to enable HDR indefinitely in these situations. Without it, bright skies wash out completely, and pictures can look less detailed than they actually are. The only problem here is that HDR takes an extra 3 seconds to process. Thankfully, the sensor doesn't let in movement while processing like other cameras we've tested, so you can move away from the scene while HDR is still processing. But the fact that you can move away while it's processing isn't ideal. The payoff is good though, as HDR does an excellent job pulling colors out from the shadows. This also translates to good low-light performance, as the sensor is surprisingly able to pull in a decent amount of light. Flash is eager to step in, but its tendency to light the subject and darken the background, paired with the already capable low-light performance, lead us to keep the flash off for more situations than we would with other phones. Videos taken on the Nokia 6 were also well-colored and detailed, though the lack of image stabilization of any kind predictably allows for shakiness. HDR doesn't exist here either, so expect troubles in properly exposing bright skies, just as was the case in image quality. At least video recording affords you some shooting modes though, specifically 2 sped up options and 2 for slow-mo, though slow-mo will require you to change the video resolution to 720p. Calls on the Nokia 6 come through clearly, and the Dolby certified dual speaker setup aids the speakerphone experience, though we still wish it could get a tad louder. The Nokia's battery life doesn't blow us away, but 3000 mAh will get you through the day in most usage scenarios. The battery takes just under 3 hours to recharge, making the Moto G5 Plus's efficiency and turbo-powered charging sound pretty good about now.
Nokia's highest-end Android phone to date leaves us with a bright outlook for the company's future. The vivid and detailed display complement the similarly capable 16-megapixel sensor. Though it can let in some movement, details are crisp, colors are accurate, and low-light performance is impressive. We of course love the phone's design and added features like Dolby certified sound, but we long for a quicker processor and hope that smaller kinks in the camera's software and lack of features will soon be ironed out. Its competitors are solid, but few. The iPhone SE is a better point-and-shoot performer with a faster processor, though its Android competition can be seen as more of a toss-up between division heavyweights like the Moto G5 Plus and Honor 6X. All in all, we're happy to say that Nokia is back, and we look forward to seeing their flagship offering. I'm Corey Gaskin with PhoneArena. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for our latest reviews.